Hi friends, so Waxhaw, North Carolina was the place to move, but now some people cannot wait to get away. Rising costs, traffic nightmares, and overdevelopment. Could Waxhaw be losing its charm? Well, before you make any decisions, you need to hear the real reasons why people are packing up and moving out of Matthews. So I am James Lanius here to tell you everything about this topic and many others. I am a local real estate agent here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, as well as Upper South Carolina like Rock Hill and Fort Mill. Now, I help families every single day like you navigate their move. So whether you're considering Waxhaw or somewhere else, this video is going to give you the full picture, good and bad, so you can make the best decision for you and your family. And hey, if you love real estate content like this, do not forget to hit like and subscribe so you never miss an update. And I get calls and texts and emails all the time from folks like you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So if you're in that boat, go ahead and reach out via the phone number right there on the screen, or find other contact info in the description below. Now let's go and get started and figure out why folks are moving out of Matthews in droves. Well, the first one, as I touched on before, is just the cost of living and housing prices. So this is not just unique to Waxhaw, because this is happening all across Charlotte, North Carolina, and Upper South Carolina like Rock Hill and Fort Mill. Now, just because somewhere is expensive does not mean everyone's going to move out, but it is a big motivating factor whether you move somewhere or not. And it is a big motivating factor as well for people that maybe just want to sell their home and get out and find a cheaper one somewhere else, cash in where they're at. So this is why a lot of people are moving out, because home prices have jumped over 50% in the last 5 years, which is crazy. This is pretty similar all across Charlotte, not just in Waxhaw, but and I'd say now homes are averaging at about $550,000 in Waxhaw, which is super expensive. Waxhaw is probably one of the more expensive towns in Charlotte and the greater Charlotte metro. And honestly, like I mentioned, a lot of Waxhaw residents are just feeling like they're being priced out of the market. They feel like with all this development, they just cannot afford to live here anymore. So they're leaving and finding other places like maybe York, South Carolina, or Lancaster, South Carolina, or maybe Wingate or Monroe, North Carolina, just different places that aren't quite as pricey. Now, 5 years ago, homes in the $300,000 range were super common here in Waxhaw, but now they are nearly impossible to find. So it's no surprise that folks are leaving to find other places. Now, second reason why folks are leaving Waxhaw is because of the traffic and commute issues. Another topic that is not just for Waxhaw, it's for all of Charlotte, really. Providence Road that runs to Waxhaw is overloaded. Commutes to Charlotte can take 45 minutes or more, usually more, I would say, depending on what time of day you leave. During rush hour is the worst. There's really also no major highway that runs through Waxhaw. Back roads get super congested. I mean, I've been stuck on some back roads in Waxhaw where everyone's trying to get around the busy roads and they're trying to go these back ways, but there's just nowhere to go because it is just packed. Everyone's trying to get home or go to work. So I'd say if there's an accident, it's even worse. You're stuck with no real alternative route. So traffic and commute issues continue to be a problem. They are trying to expand the roads here in Charlotte and different places, but it's going to take 5-10 years for them to catch up to the amount of growth that has happened in the last 5 years. So now another huge reason why people are leaving Waxhaw, North Carolina is because of the limited job opportunities. So whether it's someone trying to move to the Charlotte area to look for jobs, or someone that is in Waxhaw that has maybe a big corporate job uptown or something, you just can't do that anymore because, one, like we mentioned, the traffic and commute is horrible, and two, over 90% of Waxhaw residents work outside of town, mostly in Charlotte or Fort Mill, so there's no major corporate offices or industries based here for the time being, maybe in the future, but right now it's still pretty rural, except you have really nice neighborhoods and residential communities. And so you're going to have to commute to places if you want to go to work. And so if you work remote, this isn't an issue, of course, but for commuters, it is a struggle, and it's continuing to be more of a struggle the more Charlotte grows, which is every year. It seems like there's just nonstop growth in Charlotte. Now, number 4 reason why people are leaving Waxhaw is the lack of entertainment and amenities. So in Waxhaw, there are really not any major shopping centers. You're going to have to go to places like Blakeney or Ballantyne, even Fort Mill, Carolina Place Mall in Pineville, or even some of the malls in and around the greater Charlotte metro. There's just nothing huge in Waxhaw. There's, small pop-up shops, small little, what are those places called? Outlet malls, goodness, that took a while for the train to reach the station. But outlet malls are some of those there, but not like a big mall or big shopping center or anything. There's some thrift stores here and there. So I would say if you want to go to one of those retail or dining hubs that have some really cool places to eat and drink and shop, you're going to have to go to some of those outside places to shop and dine like you want to. You do have downtown Waxhaw, which does have some shops, some entertainment, some dining, but it's just not, the kind of that big, entertainment scene that you have in some of these other suburbs. So if you want nightlife or entertainment, you're going to have to drive into Charlotte, of course, or maybe Ballantyne. You're not going to find that in Waxhaw. You might find a country bar, some nice, breweries or something, but you're not going to find a big, club or anything like that. So don't be looking for that in Waxhaw. Now, Waxhaw has a lot of great small town charm still, I would say, but it is just not the place for an active social scene. You're gonna have to drive outside of Waxhaw to get that. So that's the reason why some people are moving out of Waxhaw. Fifth one, which is common for a lot of Charlotte as well, is the overcrowded schools. So Union County schools are some of the most top-rated schools in the state and in the Carolinas, but many are very overcrowded due to rapid growth. Mobile classrooms are becoming more common to handle the increased enrollment, and school district rezoning is a possibility more and more as more families move in and decide to make Waxhaw their home. All right, this next part is just pretty common for all of Charlotte. It's common for the Carolinas, but 6 is weather and bugs. So summers are really hot and humid, and there are many days in the 90s. You're gonna have a lot of days that are super hot, and in the winter you're gonna have some days that are not super hot, but they get down into the 30s sometimes. Mosquitoes, fire ants, and palmetto bugs do thrive in the warm climate. Pollen levels in the spring are high, covering everything in a layer of yellow. So that's something to consider, and a lot of people living in Waxhaw are looking to move to places that don't have that, maybe farther north, or maybe they want to move far south into Florida and avoid some of these, but you do get lots of this in Florida too, and even worse. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to our last reason people are leaving Waxhaw and moving elsewhere. So folks, Waxhaw is one of the most fastest growing areas near Charlotte, North Carolina, and construction is constant. I mean, there are new developments and new buildings coming in everywhere all the time. Traffic has increased, of course, and some feel like this town, the historic downtown Waxhaw, is just losing its small town charm. It just doesn't have the same feel it used to because of so much growth and development and increase in population and people and companies and businesses moving here. So more people, of course, means more congestion, crowded stores, and busier public places. More traffic, of course, as we mentioned. So a lot of people just do not like the bustle and the hustle of busier suburbs around Charlotte anymore. So I think that's probably the main, or one of the biggest reasons people are leaving Waxhaw, is because they just don't like the growth and they don't like all the people moving. And so they're looking for places that aren't quite as developed, maybe in the middle of South Carolina where there is as much growth. So those are 7 reasons why people are leaving Waxhaw, North Carolina, and finding other places to live. And it's understandable. I mean, Charlotte has grown a ton in the last 5-10 years. It's really insane at the level of growth that has happened here. So I do not look down on people that are leaving Waxhaw and leaving any part of Charlotte, because I grew up in a small town in Missouri, and it's kind of the same way. When it's grown a lot the past 5-10 years, a lot of people just don't like it anymore because there's too many people, too much traffic, and it's even worse here in Charlotte. So that covers the 7 reasons why people are packing their bags and leaving Waxhaw. Now, I want to know what you think. Now, is Waxhaw really losing its appeal, or is it still a great place to live? If you live there, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about all the growth that has happened, especially if you're a long-time resident of Waxhaw or Charlotte. I want to know what you think about all this development, all the people moving here, if it makes you want to leave or not. And if you're on the fence, I want to chat with you. Every day I get calls, texts, and emails from families about real estate, as well as if a certain suburb of Charlotte like Waxhaw is the right move for them, or if another area might be a better fit, depending on your lifestyle, depending on if you have a family or if you're just a young professional or something. So you can reach out to me via phone, which is on the screen right in front of you, or you can find more contact info in the description below or on my YouTube banner. And feel free to reach out, give me a call, because I'd love to help you figure out your next best move. And folks, lastly, I need you to hear this. If you found this video helpful, please, please, please make sure you like this video. It's a little thumbs up button in the bottom right, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next video, which is why everyone is moving to Waxhaw, North Carolina. So we talk more about the pros of Waxhaw and why everyone loves it, and why a lot of people are moving here about at the same rate people are leaving. And we cannot wait to see you there.